Our guest speaker tonight is Heidi Winton Stahl. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
You did.
Okay,
Thank you.
proceed. We have about an hour, and we want to hear what you have to share.
Kathy and I want to know where she is in the world.
Yes, I'm in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, great. Oh, she's in Richmond.
Yeah, and I've met Richard at a couple of IONS, IANDS, not IONS, meetings. I was just there a few weeks ago and in person and saw one of the meetings, and we had a nice chat afterwards during lunch. And so that's how I got here. I started on this energy medicine journey in 2018 um, after my husband died, and I started to get sick. And I instinctively knew a few things. One was it was really important that I have fun, that I did not need an antidepressant. And I went to my acupuncturist to get some form of treatment for whatever was going on. It was certainly, you know, the loss, the grief, settled into my body. I would say that now. So I had pretty much every energetic thing wrong. But I didn't know that at the time. I have since learned that. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. So I've been in practice for about 4 years. I'm still learning. There's so much to know, and it's so interesting and exciting. And I hope this talk isn't too simple for all of you because it sounds like there isn't anything that I'm going to say that is going to be weird to you. Um, but hopefully you'll think it's cool. So I want to present this when I talk about energy medicine to people, when I talk about what I do, most of the time people say, I have no idea what that is, but I've heard of Reiki or I've had Reiki once. Is that what you're talking about? And the answer is yeah. Reiki is energy medicine. It's the Japanese form of energy medicine. Um, what I love about
Later, later.
Eden method specifically is that
I'll leave the room.
there's so much more to it. So Donna Eden is the creator of Eden Energy Medicine. She's the one that created the school. She is incredibly talented with energy. She sees it, and she just started playing with it. She was very sick herself and was able to heal herself from a death sentence. And so years later, she formed a school because it's teachable, and that's how I've come to know this form. Um, there is there's a lot that Eden has borrowed from, including massage, energetic kinesiology, applied kinesiology, polarity therapy, hypnotherapy, Reiki, touch for health, and I'm sure that there are other ones as well. And beyond that 3 year training, I've been studying with energy medicine practitioners who've been doing this for many, many years, decades. And there's just so much to learn. It's so interesting. So before we get into the actual slides and everything, I want you all to take a second to just tune in to your own bodies and your own mind and note how you feel. Is there any pain in your body? Do you feel scattered? Do you feel whatever? And maybe even give yourself a rating on a 1 to 100 basis, 100 being I've never felt so good in my life. Okay? So we'll start there, and then at the end, we're going to check back in and see if it's changed, even just a little bit. It's really just an experiment for all of us, including myself. All right, so let's get started. Energy is a vital, living, moving force that determines much about health and happiness. So if you guys know anything about quantum physics, which I'm betting you do, you probably already understand that everything is energy. Everything is vibrating. Even what looks solid is not really solid. It is 99.99999 to infinity% empty space. Therefore, even though our bodies seem dense and solid, they are not. And it makes sense to me that using a modality that treats vibration and works with vibration could be really helpful. And it turns out it is. So let's look at some of the ways that energy interacts with our physical bodies. Light and sound. White light, what a beautiful thing. White light contains all of the colors, both seen and unseen. All of the vibrations are in there, and our physical bodies need it. They need all of it. And I think this is why it feels so good to go out in the sunshine and absorb its warmth. Now there is too much, of course, but there are many, many nutrients that we need from the sun. It's full spectrum light. Sound is also a vibration, and frequencies of sound influence the body. And these two are the yin and the yang of source energy. Love is the highest vibration that there is. There's a wonderful book by Masaru Emoto. Have any of you read The Hidden Messages in Water? Anne Marie is shaking her head, nodding her head. Dick is nodding his head. All right, cool. So I loved that book because, when I read that book, I wasn't quite sure that there was anything beyond the physical. And that really proved to me that thoughts are things, that words matter, and that the way that vibration works. So for those of you who didn't read that book, in that book, the scientist Emoto, he studies uh, he studies freezing water into crystals while the water is being exposed to different words, different thoughts, and different vibrations of music. And it was such a cool book because um, what love does to water is it creates a beautiful, perfectly symmetrical snowflake or crystal compared with words like hate or I think what was the one that I can't remember exactly what the word was, but negative words or negative ideas created very chaotic, unsymmetrical snowflakes. And he even went so far as to take water from different lakes around the world and exposing all of those different waters to these words and these ideas. And the water formed images that looked like the place where it was from. So these things, prayers are things, and these words and ideas and thoughts that we have, the emotions that we have an effect on our physical body. We are made of water, primarily made of water. So, what does hate do to the water within our body? And what does prayer do to the water in our body? So we can even use that idea around our food. Well, you all do that before you eat or after you eat, before this session right here, you all said a prayer. And those things really do make a difference. Source is synonymous with love and light and sound. Source is both light and vibration. And this is the divine healing energy that is channeled by energy medicine. So I didn't know this when I started learning energy medicine because Donna Eden kind of keeps this part separate until later. Like she doesn't really talk about the spiritual aspect, but there definitely is a spiritual aspect. It's not any particular religion, but there is a spiritual aspect because we are channeling source energy, and source energy exists in everything. When I look out the window now, I see the tree as source energy. What is alive about it is the source energy. The grass, the rocks, everything out there is alive, and it's all part of this world that source has created, and it's organized. We are electromagnetic beings. Your heart is an electric generator 1,000 times stronger than your brain. It creates an electromagnetic field. The heart in traditional Chinese medicine is called the emperor or the benevolent leader. The heart knows your purpose and it communicates your purpose to the rest of your body. The whole system is designed to protect that heart energy, which is the part of you that is compassionate and loving, right? So everything is there to protect that so the heart doesn't get damaged. You know how it hurts when your heart gets damaged? It literally hurts. Research done by the Heart Math Institute confirms that 90% of the communication between the heart and the brain is the heart sending messages to the brain. And most of our current science tends to think that the brain is the center of you and that all this stuff happens because of the brain. In Eastern medicine, they believe it all begins with the heart. Energy moves because of polarity. We are designed to be electromagnetically connected to the earth and the universe. The earth is negatively charged, and our feet must be positively charged to draw up the earth energy and to exchange energy. There's an energy exchange that needs to happen. The universal energy is positively charged, and the top of our heads must be negatively charged to draw in energy from the sun and the other planets. So we're basically this battery. The heart creates the electromagnetic field. We have a pole on the top and a pole at the bottom. Yin is the negative polarity or the feminine energy, the earth energy. And yang is the masculine energy, the positive energy, or the sun energy. Yin energy supports the yang energy. So when we work with the energies, we often focus on the yins because usually those are the ones that need the most support. So I'll put this into context of our society. We have a tendency to overwork, do we not? We burn the candle at both ends, especially when we're young. And this can deplete the yin energy. And we run out of steam, or it ages us sooner than it needs to. So if we can keep those yins supported and full of energy and the energy moving through those yins. So if we understand this, in other words, and we have some tools in our tool chest to support the yins, then that doesn't have to happen. Our hands have a polarity. Actually, each finger has its own polarity. The palm has a polarity. Overall, generally, there's a positive polarity to the hands, and this is healing energy that comes out the hands. We can charge the hands, and then we can use the hands on the body. The hand can be used as a magnet, positive, negative. So if there's a polarity issue in a muscle, for example, I'm going to use this muscle, the upper trapezius. It's related to the kidney meridian. If this muscle is tense or tight or constricted, energy isn't moving through it so well. And usually there's a correlation between that muscle and the meridian that is associated with it. So in this case, it's the kidney meridian. So we might be able to unlock that muscle with a few different techniques, one of which is using the hand like a magnet and flipping it back and forth to correct the polarity of the muscle. Because if the polarity is incorrect, the energy cannot move through the muscle. We can also use actual magnets. They're a specific size. And we can correct polarity this way with a magnet. We can also help move pain and help broken bones, for example, with magnets. Energy medicine is a different slice of reality. Energy medicine uses frequency to treat frequency. It's an outside-in approach, meaning that first, before we have anything, we have a physical body, we are a thought. We are a vibrating egg and sperm that come together that create DNA. And that energy creates the physical, a little at a time. So if there's a problem, so the energy system supports the physical. The energy creates the physical. So anything that happens in the physical, any symptoms you have really been in the energy before they were in the physical. Western medicine sees it the opposite way. They look at the physical, they're looking for the pathology, and they're going to treat whatever is wrong. Whereas Eastern medicine and energy medicine are more about what's right, what's working, and when we create a state of mind that is exactly what you want, what is having trouble keeping up or maintaining itself within that frame of mind or that state of mind, which we'll go into a little bit more later. So the main tools of energy medicine are the client's energies and the practitioner's energies. Practitioners empower people to participate in the process. We educate clients to cultivate healthy energy habits. And energy medicine is delivered with loving intention because love is the greatest healer of all. That is source energy. So we want more of that. All right. Okay, I'm on number 10. Okay. Some principles of energy medicine. Energy needs to move. Movement of energy keeps the body vital. It supports all function. When energy has no way to move, it can be like a traffic jam, and that can cause pain. That is what pain is. It's stuck energy. If we can break up that stuck energy and move it through, we can often relieve the pain with some pretty simple techniques. Energy moves in specific patterns. So there are patterns and pathways that support health, and these can be supported, strengthened, and balanced with some simple tools. So we have figure 8 patterns, we have spirals, we have Fibonacci. Energy needs space to move. If energies become blocked or constrained due to stress, muscular constriction, toxins, emotions, illness, or disease, then energy can't move. So here's an example of how emotions affect the movement of energy. If there is a lack of movement, we may experience discomfort or pain. Pain has a correlation with emotion, an emotional state that's present. So if you're holding on to an emotional state that is negative, your energy system absolutely must reflect that state of being. And if you're holding on to it, you're not allowing it to move out. And it can get stuck. And there are predictable patterns in the places where it might get stuck. For example, I know you can't read this very well, so I'm just going to give you an example. We can come back to it later if we need to. I have the chart up here. Low back pain can mean that you feel a lack of support, a fear of money or the lack thereof. That can be one cause for it. That's a general pattern that we see. Pain in the middle back can be about guilt or being stuck. Pain in the upper back can mean you feel a lack of emotional support, or you feel unloved, or you're holding back love. All of our energies are interconnected. The energy that flows through that tree in my front yard is the same energy that flows through me. The energy that is spirit flows through me. The mind, the mental energy is all here. It's all here. If there's a problem in one part of the energy body, it will eventually cause a problem in another part, because all of the systems are interconnected. Over time, if it doesn't work itself out or if it doesn't get addressed, you may experience widespread imbalance or dis-ease. So I like to say that symptoms are messages from our body that bring our attention to something that's going on. If we ignore the messages, they get louder. So if something's been going on for a long time, it eventually will settle into the physical body and it may become an illness or a disease. People and events affect your energy. We've all experienced this when you walk into a room full of people and you suddenly feel a mood shift and you have no idea why. Or you meet up with someone or you meet someone who's really great, and after talking with them for a few minutes, you feel better. It's because our energy field or our auras connect with other people's auras. So my aura goes out at least as far as my fingertips. My torus shape goes out this far. Sometimes the aura can go even further. Sometimes the aura collapses in and we can feel extremely vulnerable to all of the energy coming at us. I know this firsthand. I experienced that. Energies have consistent priorities. Your first priority of your energies is keeping you alive. And your body doesn't care whether you feel good whether you like it, it's just going to keep you alive. So that's what I'm calling survival. Second priority is healthy functioning. Healthy functioning of the essential systems, even at the expense of other less crucial systems. So that means if you're surviving and there's some energy left over, then that energy gets applied to essential functions. But if you're in survival, most of your energy is being diverted to either fighting, running, freezing, or fawning. And your essential functions, such as your immune system, is compromised. Now, this relates to every disease out there. And the one that we're dealing with so much right now is cancer. And I'm not going to go into why cancer happens. I'm really covering it all right here. Being in survival is very dangerous to your health. Now, it's perfectly fine to go into survival temporarily, right? You almost had a car accident, someone almost hit you. Your heart pounds, the adrenaline gets released, the cortisol gets released. And after 15 or 20 minutes, you come back down to normal. That's fine. It's when we're experiencing chronic stress over and over and over, 5, 6, 10 times a day, something puts us into survival mode and our energy leaves the forebrain, which is our logic center, goes into our hands and our feet and our ears so that we can run or we can hit somebody. The third priority of your energies is intention, whatever you actually want for your life, what you want to create in your life. So I think this is really cool to understand because you guys, as people who work on manifesting, right? You work on manifesting, understanding the whole process of that. It's really, really hard to manifest when you're in survival. You have blinders on and all you can see is what you have to do to survive. Nothing else even gets in. And the forebrain, which has lost up to 80% of its blood every time you went into survival, can't help you think your way out of it either. You cannot be logical. Energy can form habits that are hard to shift. Even if these patterns are harmful, this is survival. For example, if you were under chronic stress at some point in your life, you may notice that some health effects have continued beyond that time frame. So why that happens is some part of your energy system said to the fight, flight, freeze response, that system, which is triple warmer, I'll get into that a little more later. The fight, flight, freeze system, which keeps you alive, has been recruited by some other meridian, let's say kidney. Kidney says, I'm so scared. I just don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can keep myself alive. I'm so scared. I feel so small. I'm cold. Please help me, triple warmer. And triple warmer does. Triple warmer says, okay, now we have a new relationship and I'm going to send you energy. I'm in survival and I'm sending you energy. And now that keeps happening. And it doesn't ever uncouple unless you're lucky. And so that can cause a pattern that just goes. This is why older people have more health problems than younger people. We've accumulated some stuff. We've had some experiences. Doesn't have to be quite that bad. All right, next. Energies can be repatterned. Energy flow can be influenced through intention, using our mind, energy exercises, to strengthen a new pattern. Energy protocols, meaning working with an energy professional who can help repattern your energies. Principles of healing. The body is self-healing. We all know this, but I just want you to see this all through the lens of energy. The body is self-healing and strives to be in balance. And we can use these natural processes to regain what has been lost. The body will do most of the work for us if we just give it a little help. And one of the tools in my tool chest is something called muscle testing. And this is part of applied kinesiology, energetic kinesiology, and touch for health. So you can ask a muscle a question, a yes or no question. And based on whether that muscle stays strong or goes weak, it gives you a yes or no answer to your question. And we use that. People like me who can't see energy use that muscle testing to know where to go. And I always listen to the body. I don't do anything that the body hasn't asked for, which is all part of the body, what the body needs. Because you can have 10 people with the same illness, fibromyalgia, and you'll have to treat it 10 different ways. Each person needs a different thing and a different order of thing. You have to unwind the coupling in terms of priority. So the body will give you the priority. But it takes a lot of listening. It's really interesting. So this photograph is an example of grounding and connecting to the earth because we were made here. We need the earth. We need the earth's energy. We need all that the earth provides in terms of food and medicine. Thy will be done. So this is a kind of I think it's a Christian mantra, but I want to explain why it's in here. Not that any of you would be offended by that. I don't think you would. It's sometimes a mystery why some people heal and some people don't, right? And I think there's definitely an aspect of that around what the soul is here to do, what the soul is here to learn. And that through illness, sometimes we learn things like humility, gratitude for what you have. So the soul has its agenda for you. But assuming it's not part of your agenda to stay sick, your will is part of the healing process. So what I mean by thy will be done is that by universal law, and if it be in the best interest of the soul, healing is ultimately within the power of a person. And so the person must be involved in the process. Healing is not something someone does to you. It is something someone does with you. So energy medicine is a conversation at its best between practitioner and client. And practitioner is addressing the will of the client. So it doesn't matter what I see, what I think you need. It matters what you want for you. Spirit, mind, and body are inseparable. What happens in one happens in the others. There's a ripple effect throughout the system. People who have a belief that they are more than their body, that there is a higher consciousness, etc., generally heal faster because the spirit's involved. Anecdotally, I will tell you that healing through energy medicine is something that I see over time. So after a session, I might initially notice some change. I may feel better. I may feel lighter. I may feel grounded and just really calm and centered in myself. And then if I look at it a month later, whatever I've been working on, I can usually see even more of a difference. And then even 6 months later, I can see change that's happened as a result of the work I did. So it's pretty cool. State of mind. So I'm giving you a picture here of Joseph Dispenza because he is one of my favorite authors right now. Have any of you read any of his books? Just raise your hand if you have. No, okay. Giving you some new information. Joseph Dispenza is amazing. He was a massage therapist, a yoga teacher, a chiropractor, a hypnotherapist, and he had a horrible biking accident. He was in a race and he got hit by a truck and he broke 12 vertebrae in his spine. And his doctors, and he was a doctor at the time, his doctors told him, a Harrington rod is your only hope. You will never walk again. And if you don't have the Harrington rod put in, so a steel rod, I think it's a steel rod they put, or a titanium rod, within the spinal column, you won't survive. So he did something so unexpected. He thought about it and he decided, no, I'm not going to have the surgery. I'm going to heal myself with my mind. And he made a promise to his God that if I can heal myself, I will devote my life to understanding the mind-body connection. And that's what he did. Within 3 months, he was back on his bike. And he did it by imagining himself healing. He imagined the energy flowing. He envisioned the vertebrae repairing themselves and the nerves reconnecting. And little by little, not so slowly, very quickly, in fact, he started to walk. So he's written about 5 books. They're all phenomenal. He goes into great detail about the subconscious mind. And in particular, this is the key right here. When you hold a state, when you hold thoughts of your healed state, and then, so you see yourself with all your senses, you see it, you feel it, you smell it, you, what other senses? What you get the point. And then you add the emotion of feeling so good because you've achieved this healed state. You put those two things together as if you have achieved it in the now. And he does this during meditation. I do this in session. What has to happen is the energy system absolutely must reflect your state of being. So those are the creative components of manifestation. The thoughts of the healed state and the emotions of the healed state, putting them together and maintaining that as much as you can. Not investing in the unhealed state, right? And I think this is so important to understand too, because when you go to a doctor, let's take cancer for an example. When you go, the majority of doctors, when you go to see them and you get a cancer diagnosis, and they give you, you have a year to live. So they're already setting your intention. Oh, I have a year to live. Okay. Um, and then you go home and then you research everything on the internet you can about whatever particular type of cancer you have. And you have then kind of set like, okay, I know what's going to happen. And that becomes your intention because you know what's going to happen. And you know when it's going to happen. Even though that has nothing to do with you. Those are just statistics based on thousands of cases of thousands of people's experiences. It doesn't mean it's your experience. It doesn't mean it has to be your experience. I lost a point I was going to make, but that's okay. So I highly encourage you to read Joseph Dispenza. And he talks in great detail about the placebo effect and what that really is. And that is mind. That is mind. So they did a ton of studies. They're still doing, his organization is still doing these studies. And they do knee surgery on 10 people and they don't do knee surgery. Well, they do surgery on 10 other people, but they're the placebo. So they're the control. They think they've had the same knee surgery that these people have had, but they haven't. And they do just as well as the people who had the knee surgery because they think they had it. Isn't that cool? So state of mind is essential to healing or to any change you want to make. And 95% of your life is controlled by the subconscious mind, which means you have no conscious control of it. So you've got to get into the subconscious mind to change things. All right, understanding stress. Stress is to a large extent a creation of the mind. Not all stress can be avoided, but we can change how we think about ourselves and others. We can change our expectations in life and about others and reduce the stress that we feel. We have a choice about how we feel. And this was another point that Joseph Dispenza makes. Emotions don't just happen to you. You have a choice of what you want to feel. So don't be invested. Don't get invested in the negative emotions. Just stay in the present. Let the emotions pass through you. They will pass through you. They are waves of energy. They are vibrations, and they will leave. You don't have to hold on to them and claim them as your own. Let them go. Feel it. Let it leave. Chronic stress is incredibly disruptive to your health, and our society is living in chronic stress right now. So that's affecting not only how we think and feel, but also the frequency at which we resonate as a society. Remember, the first priority of your energies is survival. But survival doesn't feel good. However, it's within our power to change the way we feel and thereby influence others with our presence of mind. So even when others are bouncing off the walls, anxious, depressed, whatever, if you can stay in a state of presence, detachment, then you can actually have a positive influence on the people that you love, in your home, your friends, and society at large, because we are an accumulation of our energies. All right, so we'll go into a little detail about the different energy systems. So within Eden Method, Donna teaches about nine systems. There are others too, but these are pretty comprehensive. So you've probably heard of meridians. Most people have. This is a picture of some of the meridians on the front of the body. There are meridians on the back of the body as well. And the dots are points at which the energy comes to the surface of the skin and can be influenced. But we always use love to influence. We always listen to the body, to what the body has to tell us. So sometimes I'll touch a point and I'll feel uncomfortable. Like, oh, it doesn't feel good. And I'll imply loving intention. And I'll listen and I'll wait and I'll tell the point, I really want you to feel good and I'm just going to hold you until you feel good. And then once I feel good, I might check in with the client. I might have already checked in with the client, by the way. How does this feel to you? Oh, it feels really good. Okay. So I'm just going to hold this until it feels really good to me too. We can strengthen meridians by using points. We can sedate meridians by using points, which means we help send energy on to the next one in the river. Meridians are the energetic bloodstream of the body. There are 14 meridians, which are named for the organs which they support. But there's really only one river. It's one long river of energy. Each meridian is just a segment of the river, and they support the organs, muscles, and cells in their vicinity. So, for example, the gallbladder meridian supports the gallbladder organ. They run in a predictable pathway of energy. Chakras. Chakras are situated along the spine. Now, these are the major chakras, but there are also chakras above the head and the sun star, and chakras below the feet and the earth star below the feet, and different minor chakras in other places on the body. So the chakras are situated along the spine. There are 7 major chakra centers. They are like pools or swirling discs of energy that bathe and feed the organs in their proximity. So the heart chakra, which is right there in the center of the chest, supports the heart. They are encoded, they govern the endocrine system and carry our history. So anything that's happened to you as it relates to each chakra theme is stored within the chakras. They are encoded and process the physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual experiences. We can swirl above them to influence and clear, spiral. So if I were to clear the throat chakra, since it's right here, I would begin with my left hand. And this is not me teaching you how to do it, and now you know how to do it. I'm just giving you a little overview. And we would circle above the throat in a nice, slow circle, and we'd be feeling for any resistance. Does it feel like glass? Does it feel rough? Is there a vibration or a wobble? And we clear that chakra until it feels really smooth and it feels good. And we shake that hand off to get rid of that energy that we've collected because we've spiraled the energy out, And now we're going to bring in fresh energy. We use the right hand and we go clockwise in that pool of energy. The aura. So here is a pretty decent illustration of an aura. There are 7 layers to the aura. They correspond to, let's see, the etheric level. I don't have them all memorized. I probably should. Mental layer. I can't think of them all right now because I'm stressed. But those 7 layers all communicate. The aura is like an antenna, right? So spirit's out there, but spirit is communicating through us to us all the time, and it goes through the layers of the aura. One layer can communicate to the next one, which can communicate to the next one. So it's really good to have your aura nice and clear. So that that inspiration or that intuition can get in. So that we're a good antenna. It's a protective layer of the physical body. It keeps toxins and disruptive energies out and attracts beneficial energies or energies that resonate with you. It processes sunlight and helps us harmonize with the magnetic field of the earth. We can figure 8 our hands in the aura to strengthen our protective layer. So if you are feeling vulnerable to the world, you might want to try that. It's only one of many things that may help, but now you have a new tool in your toolbox. You can also spin a crystal in your aura to bring all frequency of light into the aura. So this strengthens it. So this is really just for fun. These are 2 examples of Carillion photography. So since we're talking about the aura, and you know, we have an aura, but all living things have an aura. Even rocks have auras. So here's an example of the aura that can be shown through Carillion photography. And I haven't really deep dived into Carillion photography. I know it exists, but I just thought these were cool. And it's always good to actually see, you know, something that you can't see. It's good. It's good. All right. Radiant circuits. So this is Donna Eden, by the way, the creator of Eden method. Donna is a walking radiant circuit. Donna is so happy all the time. It's infectious. The first time I met Donna, I was at a class in San Diego, and she came to our table because she wanted to meet everyone in the class. And before she sat down, I'm looking at her, and she's glowing. Like she has this glow about her, and I have never seen that before. And that's real. But anyway, radiant circuits. So radiant circuits are the intelligent, subtle energies of source. They can flow wherever they need to flow. When our radiant circuits, so there are pathways in the body, but they also can connect anywhere they need to. So when our radiant circuits are activated, we feel good. We feel joyful. We feel loving and connected. It's like when you fall in love. Remember how good that felt? Or you're doing something you absolutely love, and you leave that experience feeling high. That's the radiant circuits. And so definitely something we want to cultivate. My favorite way to turn on the radiant circuits is to dance. I love to put on some energetic, happy music and dance my heart out. That really, really makes me happy. And the result of that is I get all that good chemistry in my body from the exercise. Electrics. I know we're running over time. Is that okay? You are muted.
It's good that we have a complete program for our website. So
Okay. Okay, great. All right. Electrics. The electrics is a system that charges and connects all the cells and the organs. This system is closely connected to the nervous system and the heart, and it supports all of the other systems. So we have a place where we can access the electrics, which is under the occipital ridge. I'm not going to turn around to show you. I'm not trying to teach you how to do it, but on the outer side of, under the occipital ridge, on the outer side of that muscle, there's a little dent, a little divot under the bone. And you can use your middle fingers and hold those points pretty firmly for up to an hour. And it's very beneficial. Celtic weave. The Celtic weave weaves your energies together. It's like your energy basket or your energy system's connective tissue. There are 14 main figure eights, and the energy goes in both directions along those figure eights. So if I were my client and I were to work on my Celtic weaves, I would do it like this. I'm doing figure eights in each direction at the same time. And I can feel the river of energy when it starts to pull my hands along when that Celtic weave is strong. If I don't feel it, then I might go and muscle test to find out which direction needs more support. And then I would give that support and then try it again and retest it to make sure it's strong. So those energies are really, they go very deep and they sort of hold you all together and connect everything together. So any corrections that are made, it's really good to do figure eights in this way afterwards because it'll sort of seal it in or hold it in. Triple warmer. Triple warmer governs the immune system and the fight or flight mechanism. So I mentioned triple warmer earlier in brief. It is in charge of the body's survival habits. So triple warmers, this is how it affects your immune system, and just in a small way, just a snippet. Triple warmer's energy partner is the spleen. And spleen has a lot of very important jobs, one of which is to maintain your immune system, another of which is to transport nutrients to every cell in your body. It's like the mother of your body. It loves every cell in your body just the same. When triple warmer needs energy because we're going to run or we're going to fight, etc., it says to spleen, hey, spleen, I need all your energy. And it says to thymus, thymus, I need all your energy. Thymus is making T cells. And those energies are given to triple warmer because our first priority is survival. So even if you aren't truly threatened of death, triple warmer doesn't know the difference. So that's why chronic stress is so dangerous. The energy is constantly being diverted to the survival mechanism. So this is why supporting spleen is so important in our culture. We all need support to spleen. Under better circumstances, triple warmer can act as a radiant circuit. So I'm going to show you one little thing, one little way that you can communicate with triple warmer. And this is really great when you feel stressed. You're going to put your thumbs on your temples, and you can try this with me. So at the end of your eyebrows, and then you're going to take your middle fingers and place them right above your eyes on those little My forehead has nice little bumps there. And just a gentle hold. And ideally, you would do this before bed to help calm your system down. And you can close your eyes if you want to. We won't do this for very long, but just notice any sensations you feel. You may feel pulsing or energy moving through your hands or in your forehead. It could be anything, really. It's different for everybody. It's very calming. I'm about to go to sleep, so I better stop. So that's a way of communicating with triple warmer and asking triple warmer to let's just take it down a notch. We're good. We're safe. The grids. Grids provide the basic structure for the energy system, like the skeleton of the body. It weaves your physical body together with your emotional, spiritual, and divine bodies. This is the deepest level of your energy system. 5 rhythms. We could spend a whole night just on 5 rhythms, easily. There's so much to know here, and it's such a beautiful system as described by traditional Chinese medicine. So within the elements, the 5 elements, beginning with the blue is water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. Within those 5 elements are all of the meridians, and central and governing meridians sit in the middle. And each of those meridians has a very specific job beyond what we might think the organ does. And each of them is interdependent with all of the others. And each of them acts as a control for one, is receiving energy from one, and is giving energy to another. All right, so now we're going to have a little fun, and we're going to do a couple of daily energy routine exercises. Okay? The first is grounding. Now, you all don't have spoons. I was going to ask you to have spoons, but I see that you can't, so I'm just going to show you. You're going to take a spoon, and you're going to put it on the bottom of your foot, and you're going to spoon. So this is a stainless steel spoon. We're going to make figure 8 patterns on the bottom of the feet. And what this does is it corrects the polarity of the feet, which helps us to ground, to connect to the earth. You can also just go outside and stand on the bare ground, or you can put your hands in water, or you can hold on to a metal pole that's in the ground outside. Any way that electricity will flow and connect, any way you can connect yourself will work. I think you can ground through concrete, but not through asphalt. All right, 4 taps. So the first place we're going to tap is on the cheekbone. So right under the center of the eyes, on the cheekbones, you can give yourself a firm tap. Now you may feel energy moving as you do this. You may not. Don't worry if you don't. It's cool if you do. And what this does is it stimulates the stomach meridian, which is bringing divine energy in through the crown of your head and down to your feet and helping you again to ground to the earth. The next tap is the kidney meridian. So right here under the clavicle, if you go out about somewhat like 2 or 3 inches apart there's a little knot there in the bone. You're going to tap there or rub vigorously there. It may even be tender. If it's tender, it means you need it. And this helps to move your energies forward. So if you're fatigued or you kind of stuck in your life, like you can't move forward in life, this may be very painful for you. So this helps you to move forward or helps to bring energy into your kidney meridians, to your kidney meridian. The next point is right here on the sternum. I have a nice little bump there, so it's easy for me. Underneath this spot is the thymus gland, and the thymus makes T cells. And T cells are very important to your immune system, and this can help prevent autoimmune disease. The next tap is under your arms. If you take your hand under your arm, below where your pinky finger is, right on the side of your ribs, is the ending point in between the ribs, is the ending point of the spleen meridian. So I'm going to use my thumbs to tap. You could also rub vigorously the ending point of the spleen meridian. And if that is tender, you know what that means. All right. The next exercise is the shoulder pull. So this is about crossing energies. Energy actually has to cross through the diaphragm as it goes down to the legs. So we're going to take one hand over the shoulder and firmly press and slowly sweep across the body. I do it like this, hand over hand, and I'm crossing to the hip on this side. And then we're going to do this side. Good. Next one is called the belt flow. And this one is actually also a radiant circuit. So when we do this exercise, we are helping to stimulate belt flow as a radiant circuit, which is helping divine energy to move through our body. So let me go over this again. So you're going to firmly sweep from the back, like from the spine, all the way around several times. And then sweep down the outside of the leg and off the pinky toe. And then we do the other side. And the other really cool thing that this does is it opens up space between the second chakra and the third chakra, which is the beginning of the higher realms. Because space tends to get, gunk and toxins tend to collect in here. So that helps to move those out to allow energy to flow up the chakras. The first chakra feeds the others all the way up to the seventh. The hookup, one of my favorites. If you take your middle fingers, you're going to place one, it doesn't matter which one, on your third eye. So it's between your eyebrows and then up about a half an inch. Place the other one in your navel. So gentle pressure, but then slightly draw up with both middle fingers. And then put your consciousness, Kathy, a little lower, right there. Put your consciousness into those middle fingers and just notice what you feel. This can be incredibly centering. What we're doing is we're connecting up the central and governing meridians, and these two meridians feed all of the other meridians. And it creates a microcosmic orbit. So the energies are doing this. They're synchronizing. And when they're synchronized, they're better leaders to the rest of the meridians. So you may feel a tingling in your fingertips. Anyone feel a pulsing in their fingertip? Yes, Anne-Marie does. Okay, so when you feel a pulsing in both of your fingertips at the same time, and it's going boom, in synchronicity, that's when you know you've successfully hooked up. And you can hold it as long as you want. The last one is called the crown pull. And this is excellent for opening up space in the head. So you're going to place the fingers along the center line of your forehead, press in, and then draw apart. Don't hurt yourself. Everything should feel good, like you're giving your body a cookie. Everything in energy medicine feels good. If it doesn't feel good, then we shift. And then you go to the center. You're going to go all the way along the center line of the scalp. Press together and then draw apart. And it feels really good when someone does this for you. And then go a little further back. We're opening up space for energy to move, to come in and to go out through the crown of your head. This can be helpful for people who have headaches, It's just one of a million things that can help someone who has chronic headaches. And then you go to the neck and do the same thing on the neck. And then you go to the upper trapezius muscle and press your fingertips into that muscle. Ah, let it relax. Take a breath and slide the hands off. All right, so now remember the tune in we did at the beginning? I want you to tune in now and see how you feel. Has there been any change? And we'll talk about it when we're done if we have any time. All right, so in summary, so again, seeing all this stuff through the lens of energy medicine, through vibration. Good food vibrates at a higher rate than processed food. When we eat the food, we take in the energy. When we eat color, we take in the vibration, the high vibrational energy of that intense, beautiful color. Look at that food. Yum. Stretching creates space in your body. Remember, energy needs space to move. Stretching should feel good. It does feel good. It hurts a little bit, but it's a good hurt. So even if you can't exercise, if you can do just a little bit of stretching, stretch those hips out if you've been sitting all day, stretch the quads, anything at all, you will feel better. You will feel better. Doing things you love raises your vibration. When you're having fun and you're loving life, you are in alignment with the divine. The divine wants you to be happy. Divine energy is love. What could be better than that? Color raises your frequency. Using color with intentionality to improve the energy of your home and your workplace, maybe even your wardrobe. What you wear matters. You might notice that depressed people tend to wear really dull colors. If you're depressed, don't put black on. Put on some color. Joyful music, listening to music raises your frequency, or it can lower your frequency if it's negative music. So be intentional about what you listen to. Even if it makes you anxious or depressed, change the channel. This applies to the news too. And the golden hour really applies here. The first 30 minutes when you wake up in the morning and the last 30 minutes before you go to bed at night are times when the subconscious mind is really open, which means whatever you put in during those times is what stays in. So be intentional about what you watch and what you put in. This is a time when you can alter your state of mind with intention. Laughing. Choose a book or a movie that makes you laugh. Find the funny in ordinary experiences. Life shouldn't be so serious. Gratitude. Someone earlier was talking about gratitude, and it was so great to hear that. This is the secret sauce. For me, this is one of the greatest secrets that I have learned in my years studying energy medicine. So say it out loud, write a list, reinforce your list every day. And I do this first thing in the morning. When I wake up, I think about my day and how it's going to go. And I think about how great everything's going to be. If there's something I'm nervous about, I imagine it going well. So I set my intention. At the end of the day, before I go to sleep, I remember the best thing that happened to me that day. And I allow the good feelings of that best thing that happened to flow through me. It's a great book called The Magic, and I'm going to give you a book list at the end of this talk. We're pretty close. The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, same author that wrote The Secret. And The Magic's all about understanding the power of gratitude. It's phenomenal. I've listened to it 3 times already. Deep breathing and meditation raises your frequency. A body under stress is not breathing deeply. And the lungs provide oxygen and divine energy to the body, to every cell in the body. And I'm missing my last page right now, and I don't know why. Oh well, we're going to wing it. I probably ran out of paper. So meditation is about being in the now. And the lesson of that is there is nothing else. There is only now. The past does not exist. The future does not exist except in your mind. If you are focused on the past, what's your energy system doing? It's reflecting your state of being. You are stuck. Being in the present and finding the beauty in this moment, right? When you're if you meditate, you can find that sweet spot where you just feel amazing and you're not doing anything and there's no expectation that you do anything. You're just breathing and enjoying the pleasure of the breath coming in and out. And it sounds like you guys meditate. So I am preaching to the choir. I'll move on. Acknowledging the divine life force that flows through everything. You are a soul living in a human body. First, you are a soul, and your soul is eternal. And this body is just for this life. Living in alignment. What gives you purpose? Your heart will tell you. If you don't know your purpose, it's time to start listening to your heart because your heart has something to tell you. Okay. And there are some sources which will be on your recording. And we're at the end. So if any of you ever want to talk some more, I love talking about energy medicine. Just email me or call me and we'll have a chat.
I wonder if anybody has a question or a comment. You'll need to unmute.
I thought she was marvelous. Really, I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I could not hear you, Carol. Let me put the camera over here so that she can hear what you have to
This
say.
was a great teaching. This was wonderful stuff.
It was a great teaching. This was wonderful.
Thank you. I'm curious, how do you all feel now?
Great. I have a question.
Linda has a question.
Okay. Do you ever use a pendulum?
I have used a pendulum. I feel like I have learned basically how to use a pendulum, but I don't trust it because I haven't had enough time to practice. It's something you really have to practice.
Yes, my real question is that part of my body energy? Is that my, because I use it all the time. I'm a
Yeah.
I can't make it this
So I use something called, I use this kind of a test.
the muscle test.
Some people use the O-ring test.
Yeah.
This test. If
Yeah.
a pendulum works for you, then that's great. So the only thing that's different. So the reason I use the muscle testing is because I am testing that person's body. I don't want to test my body
Right.
or my pendulum. I want to test their body in relation to the question. So that's why we use muscle testing
That
instead.
answers my next question. What does a treatment look like? And I guess you
test their body to see what they need.
Yeah. So first there's a lot of talking so that I understand what's happened, where they are, where they want to go. And the first part of the session is just clearing the static, which is a lot of what that daily energy routine is doing as well. So I clear the static before I really start getting into any questions. Then I qualify the muscle that I want to use, usually the spleen muscle, to make sure that it's giving me accurate answers in the same way that you would qualify your pendulum. Show me yes, show me no, right? So I ask the muscle, make sure it's communicating with me. If it's not, then I know where to start. I start with the meridian that has to do with that muscle. And then I ask as clearly as I can, yes and no questions, and follow the energy.
2 quick ones. Do you wear a watch?
No.
I knew that.
No. I probably shouldn't wear my ring either, but I do. Sometimes I take
watches.
it. But I have a watch that is mechanical. My husband bought me a watch that's mechanical so that I could wear it.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
When you change the polarity, when you're doing the thing with your hand to change could you use like a tachyon, a 0-point energy device instead?
I don't know anything about a 0-point energy device.
Okay,
I could use this magnet and flip it on the muscle.
right. So I have a magnetic pad. Would that work?
I don't know.
It was a polarity therapist that made me that pad.
Okay. I don't really know anything about them. The magnets we use are not very strong.
Okay.
So that's part of the formula. And they have a circle in the middle, which is also part of the formula.
Oh, I've seen those. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. I can tell you where to get these if you email me.
Can you give your
So-
contact information so that
Yes.
people can get in touch with you if they wish to have a treatment?
Yes, it's here on the last screen.
You have it, Dick. Can you give it to us later?
I can tell you, if you want to write it down, I can tell you right now. My email is elemental healing at my last name, which is wintonstahle.com.
Hey, we can't see it, Dick.
Okay, I can give it to you.
Okay, good.
I have it.
My website is elementalhealingrva.com.
Heidi, Winton, STAHLE.
Elemental healing at what?
RVA, Richmond, Virginia.
RVA.com.
All right, we got it.
I wanted to share with you that I learned how to use a pendulum, and Donna Eden was one of the people that encouraged that. And it's the intention you have with it that makes it whether or not you're going to believe what it says.
Mm.
And I started wearing my pendulum at my heart because I figure my pendulum is always love
Mhm.
for everyone all the time.
That's beautiful. So I'm listening to a book right now called Power versus Force. I think it's on that list at the end. I didn't really talk about it in the presentation, but the assertion of the author is that muscle testing can answer any yes or no question, any question that you could ask. You can ask it something that the person knows nothing about. And as long as they're clear and the muscle's communicating clearly, it will give you a yes and no answer as long as you ask the question in the appropriate way. And they went through the whole book and they went line by line and they muscle tested every sentence for truth.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing.
Pretty cool.
And you can do the same thing with a pendulum. And I had a friend who would use the muscle testing and I would use the pendulum, and both of us, we were each more comfortable with the way we had learned how to do it. So
Yeah.
great. It really
Yes.
is. It's wonderful.
Yep. Good. Whatever tool works for
By
you.
the way, thank you. You you covered a lot of things that I wasn't even aware of, and I've been doing energy work for a long time.
Oh, good. I'm glad you found this helpful.
And it was very clearly stated, everyone was just right on. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions or comments? Bob has a question or a comment. Just a minute. Put the camera on Bob.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Thanks a lot. I'm a behavioral developmental optometrist. And we have a thing called syntonics, which is the use of color. And they used to have like 7 basic colors that you looked at, and the idea was to imprint that frequency. And this goes back to Becker and the body electric and frequency medicine, which you probably know about. Anyhow, they had mu, and they had these 7 basic colors, and they use them in various forms. But that was imprint the frequency on the retinal blood vessels, and in 20 minutes, the body would pass the blood through the body. And that frequency would be imbued in the body. The other thing now, they're talking about a 440 that was a 432. Do you know about what I'm talking about?
No.
There was a basic tonal balance frequency, which was a 440. There's a lot of this on the YouTube and the webs right now about how this was shifted, and that's why a lot of the sickness is inherent in the country today, that this 432 is the original
Hertz.
healing frequency.
Hertz.
Yeah.
Right.
We're talking about 432 hertz versus 440, and they went to 440. And the next thing was
440.
hertz.
Who went to 440 and how'd they do that?
That was at some point, it was decided, part of the globalist thing, well, I don't know. And it was decided this was a way to shift people out of health, which is where we have been kind of going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
It's like Schumann's resonance.
in terms of hertz tonal frequencies, do you use anything like the Rife or all these others that are out there?
I would love to try Rife. I haven't ever tried one, but one of my best friends lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and she worked with a doctor who is a retired chiropractor, and he uses the Rife machine, and he was able to heal her of many different allergies using the Rife.
I have a mini Rife. You can get a mini Rife now, like $500. They're not too expensive.
Oh my gosh, I have to
They're on the web.
have one.
Yeah, I've had that. I used to have like a healing business before I retired 10 years ago.
Okay. Well, you and I need to talk. Can you share that information with me, Anne?
Yeah.
Never retired.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I stopped doing it for money.
All right.
I do it all free.
I love that. It's we could talk more about that, but I feel
Well, the difference is
so blessed to be able to do it. And I understand the money exchange thing is important too, but sometimes I just want to take the money out of it and just see what comes back to me. Does that make sense?
yeah. Well, that's what it was when it was for money, there was always, well, I need to make this quota or something.
Yeah.
When that's not there, it's like, who needs what when?
Yeah.
It's like you meet somebody, they need something. Oh, you take this. Because I use supplements and everything. I've got the Mind Gear, it's another frequency machine. I've got a chi machine which does the elliptical, the figure 8 on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
And it puts your whole body into figure 8. And like I said, I have a number of 0-point energy devices. This sensor is from Dr. Patrick Flanagan. It's both an EMF and a 0-point energy. But I have a bunch of those things.
Awesome. Well, that's
Yeah,
something to
and
look at.
magnets. There was a way back in the day when we did shows, a girl would share the booth with me who did magnets.
Uh-huh.
So I have some magnets because I used to do computers and I had, a lot of pain in my wrist, and I'd wear the magnets on my wrist when I had to go to work. So yeah.
Could you do Zoom healing too?
I can do it. So I can't muscle test remotely. I would have to either do this kind of test or use a pendulum. So Donna is not fond of this because the thing you have to be careful of is that you don't want to run someone else's energy through your own body because that can make a practitioner sick. So, but I have a friend who does that all the time, and she's incredibly talented, and she's working on how to get around that. Um, so I can do it. I just can't get all the answers I'd like that way. But it does work. It absolutely does work.
Come back to the beach.
Yeah, come to the beach.
I love the beach. We were just there. My husband and I were just there. When I saw Richard, we were just there for the weekend. We had a great time. We were like, we might want to retire here. This is great. So maybe so.
Questions or
Yeah,
comments?
just one question.
Just a minute, put the camera on Dawn.
I'm not deep into Joe Dispenza, but I'm getting started because I found a list of 50 20-minute meditations that he's got on YouTube. And
Nice.
I'm looking at those, some are for morning, some are for evening. But what is the best book of his to start with for manifestation?
For manifestation, Becoming Supernatural is one of the later books. I feel like most of the books cover all the stuff he did before, and then he just takes it further. So I think it was that one that he really goes into great detail about
Okay.
manifestation. Yeah.
Reality,
Hmm?
intentionality.
Mhm.
Start with intention.
Is that a book?
Why are you doing it? Why do you need it? What do you want to accomplish with it?
Is that a book?
Yes.
That's underneath it all.
Okay, Francis says intentionality is at the base of it. All right, any other questions or comments?
You have a video? Or I guess this could be video.
Do you have a book?
Do I have a book?
No.
No.
Okay, well, we have a video.
You have a video.
We could share that with anybody who's interested.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any last comments or questions?
Thank you.
Yeah.
We all say thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. I had such a good time. Thank you so much. I can't wait to meet you all in person one day.
Any Tuesday or Thursday, 6 p.m.
Excellent.
All right.
Internet chat.
Are we ready to say goodnight?
We are.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Good night. Thank
Good
you so
night.
much. Thank
you.
Good night.
you. All right.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks again.
Good night, Gracie.